Hello friends and welcome to the garlic curing barn. We have 15,000 garlic bulbs curing and I am so excited to share with you a few of the keys we keep in mind. So in case you're curing garlic too, you can make sure that you are curing glorious garlic for all the seasons to come. So yes, I'm Petra here at Fruition Seeds and welcome to live Q&Q. Note Q&A. I don't know that we have answers, but so many questions beget deeper questions, and these are the kinds of conversations we would love to share with you. So yes, tuck anything you like in the chat, and I look so forward to going wherever we go. So before we go there, let's start as we always begin with some words. This morning, some words from a poem that I love called Enough and Plenty from our dear friend Digger, farmer, poet, activist, human in the Hudson Valley. Abundance is the dream of this world. Not too much for anyone, but plenty and enough for all. And indeed, I love remembering that in the fall, we planted just one clove. And in the winter, that one clove splintered into 4, 6, 10 other apical buds deep within itself. And each of those splinterings, when the spring came, began to swell again, becoming its own huge bulb of garlic by July. So garlic is this incredible kind of loaves and fishes parable of how enough becomes indeed and is plenty. So I love garlic so much. We just harvested our garlic last week, and let's talk about curing. And this is live Q&Q, so tuck any Q's, questions, quandaries, curiosities into the chat, and let's not be shy. So yes, with some keys for curing garlic. First and foremost, why are we curing garlic? Great question. We're curing garlic because we want to store our garlic. Garlic, different varieties can store different amounts of time. Like the rocamboles don't store very long. Honestly, if we're enjoying those past New Year's, it's a mild miracle. Other varieties like silver skin and artichoke softnecks can easily last into May and even June. Easily, she says, but only when they're grown well, cured well, and stored well. So yes, it's almost like shrink wrapping your garlic. All these green juicy leaves, all these green juicy bulb wrappers turning into silver shrink wrapped bulb wrappers, allowing your garlic to store. So yes, here are a few keys. It takes a while. So it might take 2 weeks, it might take 4 weeks. It's less about time and more about paying attention, and here are the keys. In warmer temperatures, although you don't want to have it be warmer than 85, but you don't want it less warm than say 70. 75 to 85 is the dream. So you want it quite toasty, and then no direct sunlight. You can see it's a little dark where I am. This is a 3-sided barn. The open face is north facing. So no indirect light and plenty of airflow. You can probably, I hope, hear me pretty well. That's only because I turned off the 10 fans that are blowing incessantly 24 hours a day in this portion of the barn, which is just a portion of the 15,000 bulbs of garlic that are currently curing here at Fruition Seeds. And so, yes, airflow is crucial. Think the desiccating winds of the desert. Wind actually desiccates and wicks moisture away from anything that it's windy around. So yes, anytime you can create fans to create airflow over drying, curing garlic, drying seeds, drying food, this just in, it's a fabulous means of drying. So how do we know when the garlic is done curing? We actually have to sacrifice a bulb that won't be storing until May. We have to open up a bulb and see, are there any visible droplets of moisture on each of those cloves inside? If we can see it, clearly it's not done curing. But even if you can't see it, take your finger. Does it feel slightly moist, in that case, it's still not done curing. If it's a little sticky, on the other hand, and it's just those garlic oils, that's another matter. But if it feels moist at all, your garlic is not done curing. So because it rains so much, and especially this season, this last month here in the Northeast, it can take easily 3.5, even 4 weeks to cure. So yes, this is a live Q&Q, by the way, because who needs answers when you can ask just deeper and deeper questions? So yes, I love curing garlic, and I hope that if you have any struggles, any questions, you can always reach out to us. You can also hop into our free online seed starting. Well, yes, we have our Seed Starting Academy also, but our Garlic and Shallot Academy has hours and hours and hours of step-by-step, season-by-season video tutorials here to totally set you up for success. And we also have this glorious garlic available on our website now. We're pre-selling it, right? We're still curing it, so we endeavor to not count our chickens before they hatch. Since we don't have chickens, we endeavor to not germinate sell our seeds before they germinate. And that includes garlic before it cures. That being said, we know we will have a base amount. So in case anything is already sold out on our website, go ahead and know that it probably isn't sold out. We just sold the minimum number that we knew we would have. We'll likely have more. So go ahead and make sure that you put yourself on the list. Click the button that's like email when back in stock, and probably by mid-August, we will have all of our garlic beautifully cured and fully counted, so we will know exactly what garlic we will have to share with you, friends. So yes, this is live Q&Q, so if you have any questions, don't be shy and dive right in. And Stu says, you keep all leaves on garlic before hanging them. Wow, well, here is the truth of the matter. Well, we take off the scapes first and foremost, not only because they're delicious and we just want to eat them, but we also, just because it tends to be dramatically easier for us, and I only recommend doing this if you are like growing fairly ludicrous quantities of garlic. And by fairly ludicrous, I mean, we're there. We grow 15,000 bulbs of garlic. And when we were doing about 8,000 pounds of bulbs a few years ago, Matthew had this idea and we tested it and we loved it. So now we actually take a flail mower and take off the top third of leaves. So, I mean, can you see? It's still, you can see there's still quite a bit. There's about 2/3 of the leaf, of the stalk, and lots of leaves. But that for us, because we're bundling these and hanging them, and it is so much more work with those uppermost leaves to be wrangling them. And so it actually dramatically decreases our labor to be flail mowing the field of garlic and then harvesting it. And so, yes, but honestly, I wouldn't recommend doing that unless you're just trying to make something really huge. It takes us a week to dig and to to hang all of our garlic. So anything that we can do to kind of make it a more efficient process without cutting corners, we do. So that's the only reason we take some of our leaves off. Fun behind the scenes facts of Fruition. But honestly, I wouldn't recommend it, only because, I mean, who has a flail mower? And it's really, I'm sure it's not giving any advantage. While it's not giving a disadvantage to the garlic, because it's not giving an advantage to the garlic, I wouldn't recommend it. But so glad you asked, and happy to take us all a little behind the scenes here at Fruition. And Christina, good morning, Christina. As my garlic cures, I'm planning on sowing carrots and beets in the raised bed I harvested my garlic from. Yes. Is it okay to have them together under a floating row cover? Absolutely. Carrots and beets can totally grow together. You just want to make sure that they're not all up on each other. So make sure, I would plant that row with 18 inches in between. The beets are going to have wider foliage, and also they're going to emerge earlier than the carrots. So you just want to make sure that you're giving them both a good shot at life. And yes, that's perfect. And my other final thought in that regard, I love to say thank you when I receive gifts, and that includes everything I harvest from our garden. And I am endeavoring to say thank you before I receive. And so I can certainly say thank you to the soil and sing a song, which I do, but I also love to just put fresh compost. And we also have our granular, organic, slow release fertilizer that we love, that we put on all of our beds before we sow them anew. And so that way we're just making sure that we're giving a little extra love, a little extra nutrients, just getting ahead of that cycle, because it's really hard to always be giving and always be receiving. Let's just practice giving more. And I'm sure that you already do, Christina, and I know that you do in 1,000 other ways in your life. And your garden is just a beautiful reflection of how much you give and receive. And I love you so. And oh my gosh, got the slow release. Woo, yes, can't wait. Perfect timing. Oh, and I love Teresa says, Pat, please share this with Ken. Oh my gosh. And please share anything that we share with anyone that you love. We create everything we create, whether it's our online courses, our emails, our social media, all of it we create to be shared, because honestly, seeds are our greatest teachers. And if there's anything that we've learned from seeds, we see that giving away what we create is what surrounds us all with abundance. So perhaps that is a beautiful way to wrap up our lovely little Q&Q, friends, and our words this morning to begin and end are part of a beautiful poem our dear friend Digger wrote, and it's very much about garlic. And here are his words. Abundance is the dream of this world. Not too much for anyone, but plenty and enough for all. Once more, abundance is the dream of this world. Not too much for anyone, but plenty and enough for all. And oh my gosh, I see there's a couple more questions that came in. I can't help myself. Stu, I love you. And yes, we hang them in groups of 10. And it depends. We generally go for 10 because honestly, I mean, look at this garlic. It's huge and beautiful. Any more than 10 is just, there's so much moisture than inside, being clustered up as we're tying them. And so, but with smaller varieties that have smaller bulbs, we sometimes will go more like 12 or 13. And honestly, if there's 9, if there's 11, we're not too picky. But with those big, big, big bulbs of garlic, this is our German white, by the way, and you can totally reserve it on our website. I hope that you do. Every year we sell out, and people are like, wow, what? Now is the time. Go ahead and reserve it now. And yes, so 10 is the magic number, but like everything, at least in my life, give or take is always a facet. And oh my gosh, and Bill, your wonderful question, what should we not plant in the former garlic bed? Garlic. And anything else in the Allium family. That includes onions, shallots, leeks, scallions. So anything in that Allium family. We love to give actually 8 years in between growing alliums in the same bed. And specifically garlic. If you're growing garlic in the same place, white rot, and there's a lot of other things that are just indicative of the fact that you've grown too much garlic in the same soil, way too close. And that can be, I've known people that have gotten white rot that haven't grown it in the exact same place but close, with like 5 years in between. And granted, if you're growing less than 100 bulbs of garlic, I wouldn't worry too much about it. Certainly if you're growing less than 50, don't worry about it. I mean, still rotate, but don't like stay up late at night. This is really like if you're growing hundreds and thousands of bulbs of garlic, then you're really, that's, getting on monoculture space. And so that's where you're just increasing your susceptibility to every disease, every pest, everything that's negative under the sun. P.S. Crumbling capitalism maybe we can all take heed. So yes, thank you friends for asking so many questions. I love these Q&Q sessions because answers, I don't know that I have many, but I ask more and more questions every day, and you all help me ask deeper and better questions. And it's a joy to share all of these quandaries, all of these curiosities as a community, and to learn and grow together. So thank you, friends. Till next time, I look so forward sending love from our gardens to yours.